This is Top Preps Sports Interviews with Sunil Sundaraj. Tonight, I'm happy to be speaking with Mike Bartley, a senior at West Essex High School in North Caldwell, New Jersey, and a kicker and punter on the Knights varsity football team. Once again, Mike, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, congrats, Mike, on your success. As both a kicker and punter, again at West Essex High School. Can you talk about here your senior year, 2022, just how everything is, panning out so far for you, Mike?
Right now we're two and one. We're having a pretty good season. We got a lot of seniors back, which is good. A lot of returning starters.
Mhm.
So we're looking to have a really good season this year. As last year we went to the state final, so a lot of energy and a lot of kids back.
Yeah, no, that's terrific to hear. It said so far, you posted a couple of your stats online. I think week two, kicked a 38-yard field goal, four extra points, two touchbacks. You know, Solid numbers putting up. Talk about that week two, performance, Mike.
We had a great game, 31-6, and then I put that field goal away in the first quarter, get us going after a touchdown, and whole team played pretty well. So that was a big one for us.
Mhm.
And week two, coming out of a game in Maryland week one. So that was really good to keep going.
Yeah, no, it's terrific to hear. Hey, last year you guys were 9-3, undefeated in the league at 5-0. Talk about that 2021 season, how special that was for you and the rest of the team, Mike.
Yeah, last year we had a really good season. We had a tough schedule, losses to Ramapo, Northern Highlands, teams like that, really big
Mhm.
schools in North Jersey. We had a lot of really good kids on our team, really good talent. One of our tight end, wide receivers went to play on at Dartmouth, a lot of talent on that team. And now we
Mhm.
got a lot of returning starters too this year. So that was a really good team, really good season. We just fell short in the state finals.
Mhm.
But this year we're looking to kind of avenge that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, let's really get into it in terms of being a kicker and punter. There's so much that goes into it, Mike, in terms of training for a season, strength and conditioning, rest and recovery, excuse me, nutrition, mental health. Let's just start in terms of the strength and conditioning. For you personally, what you do, in terms of, I said, really getting your mind, your body in shape for the rigors of a football season.
A lot of lifting, a lot of time on the field kicking mainly as well. In the gym, I'm doing a lot of explosive movements, a lot of leg stuff just to strengthen my quads. And then just a lot of work on the field, a lot of kicking, a lot of practice, just technique, like just repeated practice. And I would say one of the main factors for me is like speed and agility as well, because footwork's always a big part, even for a
Mhm.
kicker. So it's a lot of movements like that, help me get ready, and then recovery, a lot of icing, stuff like that, help prevent injury,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Physical therapy, get my hips loose.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's understated how much, in terms of being durable and flexible as well,
Yeah.
because kicking, you have so much torque in terms of when you're on with the field goals, and then even with the punts as well, trying to get that elevation on a punt. Just talk about what the regimen is for you, like in terms of uh during the practices, and then even preparing in the summertime. And then when it comes to game time itself, how you go about that. I'm sure there's a certain, method that you implement, Mike.
Yeah. In practice, even before games, just everything training out in the summer, whatever it is, camps, a lot of stretching first. Got to make sure my body's loose before I even, look at a football. And then once I get on the field, I just start warming up. Then I start doing more dynamic stuff, getting loose, and then that's when I'll take my progressions into kicking, more like one
Mhm.
steps, two steps into my full steps for kicking. And
Yeah.
punting, I'm kind of just splitting it up, working on both things at once. Taking it day by day, trying to get better.
Yeah. No, it's great to hear. I was thinking about, as I was preparing for this interview, that there's so much that goes into it. Everybody's got to be on the same page in terms of when you're either lining up for a field goal or for a punt. You have, of course, the lineman, you have the snapper, you have the placeholder. I mean, there's again, there are a number of steps that have to be generated in order for a successful, field goal or a punt. Just walk people through, what that takes, what that undertakes for you.
Yeah, so for me, it's like everybody on that field plays a role. It can be overlooked sometimes. Like our linemen, everybody's got to block, everybody's got to take the right steps so the field goal doesn't get blocked.
Mhm.
Snaps got to be good. Holders really got to do a good job, laces out, like all that stuff, because that could
Yeah.
change the whole kick. And then me, for my part, my timing's got to be perfect. My ball contact, stuff like that. Just got to make sure
Yeah.
it's fluent, all one motion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because
No,
you can't
exactly.
really, yeah, you can't really afford mistakes there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, that you brought up a great point, like with your placeholder in terms of having the laces, said lined up perfectly. So in attempt, to split the upright. So just talk about that because you think in baseball you have a pitcher and a catcher. So having that connection, having that communication with your placeholder. Just talk about that aspect of it as well, Mike.
Yeah. So for a placeholder, it's like, so my placeholder is a wide receiver on our team, and he's a really
Okay.
good holder. He just started holding for me this year. Took him through the steps, kind of. You gotta spin laces out as best as you can, because sometimes laces in, you don't get that good contact. If it's to the
Mhm.
side, it kind of weighs the ball, makes it like sway almost. So it's just a lot of practice, honestly, a lot of repetition, practice after practice, a lot of reps, just getting it down, getting it perfect, putting it in the right spot.
Yeah, no, that's true. Let's go on the flip side in terms of when you're punting as well. Just what is transpiring? Said through your mind as it said run out into the field and it said prepare for that moment as well, Mike.
Yeah, I'd say it's like pretty similar. Everybody's got to do their job. Snapper. If the snap is off, it's not as big of a deal because you kind of got a little bit more time. But my
Mhm.
operation time also has to be very good. Sometimes I can't take my full steps. I'm trying to get good contact, and then sometimes you got to switch up the punt depending on where you're on the field. So that
Yeah,
also plays a role. But for the most part, it's like same thing. Everybody's got to do their job, and I just got to do my job.
yeah. No, I said again, terrific points you made. As I said before we came on there, one of the most pressurized positions, when you talk about
Yeah,
being a field goal kicker, you have so much riding on the line, in terms of, especially if you're, attempting a game tying or game winning field goal, you have so much going on in the environment of a high school football game, with the crowd, with coaches, teammates, you have band, cheerleaders. I'm wondering how you're able to like sort of like block that out and just like stay focused on the task at hand and just like within that moment, Mike.
yeah. So far, there's definitely been a couple student sections trying to throw me off while I'm out there on the field, but I kind of just block out the noise, put my head down, take my steps, just look up, look down one more time, and I'm just locked in. Not really worrying about what's going on around me. Just keep my eye on the ball the whole time, and just doing the kick. And that's about it. I just block out
Yeah,
the noise as best I can. You just gotta stay calm. Can't let it get to
yeah.
you.
No, that's true. I mean, calm and composed. Hey, what goes through your mind, Mike? When you make a field goal, just that adrenaline rush and just that exhilaration. I mean, that's got to be. It's really got to give you immense boost there.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. And I'm right to the sideline and get the kickoff to you, and then go back out and make another great play. Just
Yeah.
momentum, really. Just momentum for the next play in the whole game.
And that's you talk about being a difference maker, kickoffs, and you've had, say a number of touchbacks. That's important because in terms of, giving the defense, said a step ahead and some momentum there as well. Talk about that, Mike.
Yeah, so I usually go for a touchback, but if not, sometimes if I feel my team like we can get a stop, I'll put some air under it and even just try to stop them inside the 15. I'll decide to
Mhm.
put some air under it, get somewhere within the 5 yard line, and then my team can make a play, even, pin them even deeper than the 20 yard line. So definitely
Yeah.
depends on how the game's going. Just decide what I want to do, kind of, and just put it in the back corner and just let my kickoff team do the rest of the work.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's working with the special teams unit. I'm wondering, like, on the kickoffs, I'm sure that there's a lot that goes in, like, in terms of communicating with them. Talk about that too, Mike.
Yeah, so the timing's got to be perfect for my team to avoid flags as well. And it's kind of just like routine in practice, making sure everybody's on sides. We're going at the same time. So that's all my steps, like being consistent as well, make sure nobody jumps. And then just everybody has a roll down there while people back contained by me. I'll be the last guy in the back in case something happens. Last year I had
Mhm.
a couple tackles, just people
Okay.
breaking. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I just gotta stay back, and then everybody else goes down and does their job. For the most part, we're doing a really good job this year. Our special teams unit, I think, pin them
Yeah.
inside the 20. So
Yeah. It's gotta feel good, Mike. You get right into that action, said,
Yeah,
making those tackles. Talk about that.
yeah. A couple games last year, I think one was Northern Highlands. They ran a trick play and they threw it right across the field. Kid came down the sideline. I just hit
Yeah.
him out of bounds.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff happens. Weird plays go, and gotta make a play on the ball.
Yeah, no, that's true. I said, definitely, be there for your team. And I wanted to transition to, working with Tyler Logan of the Logan Kicking Academy. And Tyler had a lot of really positive attributes to say about you. I wanted to just get your feedback on it. His report on you, a very strong leg, able to kick 60-yard field goals off a holder and stick, kicks off the ground. Tyler goes on to extremely consistent kicker, one of the cleaner forms I've personally seen in person, a very good listener and makes the adjustment when needed. Stays true to his adjustments and a great kid to coach across the board. Works his butt off to get where he's at, very strong in the weight room and great athlete all around. Super easy to talk to, extremely friendly, and makes a good name of himself outside of football. A great role model for kickers in the area. Not many weaknesses, all stays true to his form and rarely misses. Going to be a great college athlete and deserves a look from D1 colleges. I mean, that I'm wondering when you hear that kind of, those, words from Tyler, just what does that mean to you personally, Mike?
It makes me feel great. Working with Tyler, it's always a pleasure. Good friend of mine. About form, he's really helped me with that. Keep my head down, driving up through the ball. He played a
Mhm.
big part in that, just making sure my form's right. Because when your form's right, it's always gonna be a great kick if you have power. So him helping me out, then on top of that, him helping me with recruiting. It's awesome. Very grateful for what he's doing for me right now. He just helped me getting recruited, help my kicking, and all the above, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's just astounding me, to hear that, being able to kick from 60 yards out. I mean, talk about that and kicking off the ground. I mean, it's phenomenal. Just talk about that as well, Mike.
Yeah, it's definitely, just a lot of work on the field because last year I was going off a block, 1 inch block, now I was going off the half inch, work my way to the ground. And to me, it wasn't that big of an adjustment. I kind of adapted quickly, which was a very good thing for me. And,
Mhm.
it looks really good for college. And when I go to camps, I got to kick off the ground. So basically the whole summer and right after the season ended, I spent all my time going off the ground and it just became like natural to me almost.
Yeah, no, it's great to hear. I wanted to ask you also about West Essex. I said the varsity football team head coach Chris Benequista, assistant coaches Tim Glenn, Ron Rowe, Ralph Velarde, Joe Giacomo. Just what they've meant to you in terms of your development here on the varsity football team.
I think they're all our whole staff really good coaches. They help us get game ready every week in practice. They push us, they really help us, just a lot of reps. They know how to coach a team very well, and they're just doing a great job working with every player, including myself, and just help me get to where we want to go in the season.
Yeah. Just talk about the head coach, Chris Bennett, please. Just the leadership and just what he brings to the table, for this team.
He's a really good head coach. He's really helping some of our players with recruiting. Last year, we had a bunch of coaches in our school right after the season. He's doing a really good job helping us get recruited. In practice,
Mhm.
he just pushes us. He's always bringing the energy, and he's just making us better every day.
That's wonderful to hear. Okay, talk about putting that Knights jersey on, that number 25. What it represents, to again that jersey, that helmet for you, Mike.
Yeah, it's great to be part of it, part of the team. It's like a family. All my friends. We're always just going out there and fighting for one another. Doing our jobs, doing the best we can, and you know, just go out to run on our home turf and just places packed, fans cheering for us. It's great. Just one
Yeah.
big like community almost.
That's what I was going to ask you about, the home games at West Essex High School. But on the flip side as well, you have the road games, and those are the moments, the behind the scenes that I think a lot of people don't get to experience and don't, really see. Talk about, both sides, that Mike.
Yeah, we definitely, even for that, we definitely bring a crowd. All of our parents, band, the cheer team, everybody. We'll get our friends there. Everybody's coming. Maryland. We had, I think, every parent on the team was there. So you definitely saw a lot of West Essex in Maryland too, week 1 or week 0, I should say. So
Mhm.
like we're just one big community. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure those bus trips when you're going to the road games, in terms of, getting locked in, for an upcoming game, it just, uh, having that team chemistry with, I said, I mean, it's a true brotherhood. I said, I know that this go way beyond, I said the gridiron, and yet after you're done here, but just talk about how special those moments are with your teammates.
Yeah, on the way there, we have 3 buses, each from 1 grade, so I'm on the senior bus, obviously, a lot of the
Yeah.
starters, and it's just locked in, everybody's got their headphones in, listening to music. Nah, I don't think there's one word said on that bus going there, and then
Yeah.
after the win, we're all together talking, having a
Yeah.
good time, so it's fun. It's definitely fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's great to hear. Talk about also that it's just not being, I was thinking it's just not being an athlete, it's being a student athlete, and you definitely be able to excel in the classroom. That's really I wanted to go because you've received offers already and drawing a lot of interest, from colleges. But how, in terms of having that time management, that organization down, because it's not easy between, you have practices, you have games as well. Just how you're able to balance that all out, Mike.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's really important to be a student in the classroom because, you could be the best player on the field, and if your grades aren't there, offers won't come, so
Yeah.
the classroom's definitely a big thing for me, trying to get my grades up, trying to keep them. And just you really just gotta find a way to manage it almost. You come home from practice, you shower,
Mhm.
right to the books almost, just studying,
Yeah.
do whatever you
Yeah.
have to do to get it done.
Yeah.
Just gotta
No,
keep your grades up.
I agree. I said how, I mean, what again, I mean, the significance of receiving all these offers. I mean, this has got, it's got to like bring a lot of joy and pride to you. And the fact that you've been able to attend camps at Penn State, Wisconsin, and Temple. Talk about, I mean, that, just be able to really dive in, get that experience, said, before like heading into your senior year as well, Mike.
Yeah, it definitely felt really good to receive a couple big D1 camp invites, FBS schools,
Hmm.
FCS schools. It definitely felt good to get those camp invites.
Yeah.
And it's just a great thing to go out there because I'm kicking among the best in the country.
Yeah.
So even if I'm not the best kid there, I'm taking notes, I'm learning from others who, really highly ranked in the country. And it's just great
Yeah.
competition to just compete against one another. And it helps my game. And overall, it's just a great experience. I love going there, see the campuses, everything, the facilities. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's really truly an exclusive fraternity, with kickers. So I'm sure there's a lot, as you say, a lot of notes, a lot of knowledge being passed around, and can pick up some really good tips in terms of applying it to your game as well, Mike. I wanted to transition back to West Essex High School. Support from the student body. You have the administration principal Cesar Diliberto and director athletics Anthony Manella. Just what they meant, because you really need to have that in place in terms of having a solid structure if you want to have a successful program. Just talk about that element.
Yeah, we get a lot of support from the staff. They're always announcing our games on the announcements. Everybody's coming. They're there, making sure everything's going well, nothing's getting out of hand. Student sections, whatever it could be. They're always doing their job, making sure everything's going smoothly.
Hmm. That's terrific. Okay, you need a good support system as well from families. So I had to ask you, parents, if you have any siblings, extended family members, what they've meant to you here during your academic athletic journey, Mike.
I think my parents, for the most part, have helped me, a lot just with sports. My dad bringing me to all these camps, helping me get exposure, helping me out. And just in the classroom too, they're making sure my grades are up. And my dad, who actually played Division I football, he knows all about it kind of. So he's helping me through the
Okay.
process.
Yeah, it's great. You could have something to relate to, and that's perfect. That's wonderful again to hear. Hey, when it comes to the game of football for you, Mike, you've been playing for a long time. Uh, Obviously, what is it? Some of the intangibles that really make it special that you follow that passion that you continue to play the sport year after year.
I just love it. There's nothing like it going out there on a Friday night lights,
Yeah,
students, everybody's yelling. It's a great atmosphere. Kickoff, I'm out there, first play of the game,
yeah.
setting the tone with my team. So it's really just an awesome atmosphere. And I just, I want to do it forever almost.
That's another outstanding point because, like, if you get that opportunity to kick off, first play of the game, that's something that you hear the music, pregame blaring, and then just that build up, the anticipation, towards kickoff. Talk about, because there's so much that goes into that even before you take the field, and then national anthem and coin toss. Said, I mean, just that whole entire vibe is just gotta be just, it's gotta be really exciting, for you.
Yeah, I love hearing when we're kicking off first, because it's packed, stadium's loud. I can't even it's hard to hear. There's air horns, cowbells, like people screaming, music playing. So and
Yeah.
I'm actually screaming at my teammates to for them to hear me.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like there's nothing like it in my opinion. I don't know. It's just the best feeling to me.
That's
Definitely
great.
would definitely would rather kick off first than at halftime. I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, you've been able to utilize, and this is what I want to get to, social media, and it's really important. And I think this to be in these times, and the fact that you can post your highlights, whether it's training, whether it's from the games itself, the fact that you could probably go back and actually like see yourself and sort of self-analyze. Okay, maybe here's my strengths, here are my weaknesses, something I have to improve on, some of the nuances that you pick up on. I'm just wondering, how you've been able to tap into that, Mike.
I definitely do that all the time, go back,
Yeah,
look at my film because I always video myself kicking,
yeah,
sometimes for, post on Twitter, help me get exposure. And sometimes it's just for me, myself.
yeah.
I'll set up the camera right behind the ball, see how my ball contact is, see how my steps are,
Hmm.
just see what I need to fix, what I'm messing up on, if I'm peaking, if I gotta keep my head down more. So it's just like that definitely plays a role for I think all kickers. I
Yeah,
think every kicker should be analyzing film. And it's just like ever since I started doing that, I just improved so much because I figured out where my weaknesses were.
yeah, that's super. Something popped into my head. I don't know if this sounds quirky, but uh, in terms of the spikes or the shoes that you use, I'm wondering, like, because I hear it in the NFL and college, so I'm wondering what if it filters down to the high school level in terms of, like, picking, said that perfect, said, shoe in terms of, to kick, a field goal. Just wanted to get your perspective from that, Mike.
Cleats are definitely a big thing for me.
Yeah,
I see a lot of
yeah,
people wear two different colored cleats. I do that
yeah,
occasionally.
yeah.
I don't do it too often because what I do is I just get a half size down so it's not too uncomfortable, so it's
Okay.
manageable. So that's what I do personally. I wear soccer cleats, and my personal go-to right now is Nike. Can't go
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah.
Really, really sleek. And I think it definitely does play a role because, if you got the right cleat, you can kick the ball a lot more like
Yeah.
farther. You got a lot of power behind it because that could definitely play a role. I think for
Yeah.
everybody, you don't want a heavy cleat on when you're kicking a football.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that word. It just like skipped my mind, like, cleats. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. So yeah. Okay. A couple more left for you, Mike. Can't thank you enough for the time. But I'm wondering when it comes to the NFL, what kickers you really, or even punters that you pay specific attention to, maybe, again, trying to see, what they do, their tendencies, during the course of a game.
I think somebody I've really been watching lately is Evan McPherson. After
Mhm.
last year, he had a lot of clutch kicks in the playoffs and
Yeah.
just his form, everything. Everybody's got different form, but you can kind of tell the way they're hitting the ball, what they're doing right, their timing. So that's one
Yeah.
kicker. He's so young that I really like look up to almost and just take notes from his game almost.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, Mike, before you get the final word, I think, so you, as Tyler Logan said, you are a great role model for, I think, for other kickers out there. And I'm wondering for the younger kids and athletes out there, and, what you would say to them, like, in terms of, like, playing sports, football, but if there are kickers out there, it said that, I mean, this is tough, to get into, but, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment. Talk, just what would you say to the kids out there who want to get into this, specific position?
I would tell them, I don't think you're going to be great at first. It definitely takes a lot of time and you're definitely going to put a lot of work in, whether it's in the gym, the weight room, just lifting on the field. It's definitely going to take a while, but once you get it, you're going to love it, I think. Because personally, for me, I also fell in love with just kicking. So I think just keep going with it, stick with it as long as you can, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, no, it's true. Hey, I'm wondering how this all evolved for you in terms of becoming a kicker and punter. I'm fascinated with that, Mike. That when did that start? And I mean, for you.
I played soccer when I was younger, so I was
Okay.
always kicking. So my
Okay.
friends, come try out, kick a football, see what happens, and it just took off from there. It's really
Oh,
just how it went down. So I was just had to like tweak my form a little bit, and then it was just from there on. It was just fixing the little things.
Yeah, that's tremendous. Okay, Mike, we get the final word and message here for family, friends, coaches, teammates, the West Essex High School student body administration, athletic departments, and the community of North Caldwell.
I thank you to everybody who supported me and just coming out to the games. It's awesome. And, I wouldn't be here where I am right now without, the support of my friends, parents, uh, the rest of my family, coaches. I wouldn't be here without them. So
Sounds good. Hey, just absolutely incredible honor and privilege, being able to speak with you, Mike. Congratulations on your success. Plenty of left, here in the 2022 season, and wishing you all the best, said, in college as well.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.